Ha! Lie, lie. Guido. Ha! Campana ting ting. Campana ting ting.
The competition was last night. I danced for, I guess, like 5 minutes, a minute and a half or 2 minutes per dance, and I was only doing 3 dances: salsa, bachata, merengue. I go in to find out that the inside competition, the girl that made it through the mental battle, or maybe created it, there were like 2 other participants that had an issue with their foot, or just got, psyched out and decided not to do it. So those 2 pulled out, and I was having some issues as well with my left leg. Was like tight because I do a box turn. I like to call them turntables, where they're like this, but it's a box turn, a pot turn. And so doing those on my left leg, single left leg, is kind of hard. My left leg was like stiff, really, really stiff from doing it so many times. And part of that is because I'm heavier. I've lost some weight. I got really big for a little while because of quarantine. There's nothing to do, right? Even with the amount of dancing that I do, it's not enough to equal what I used to do when I had a job. So just the little bit of strain that you get from dancing, my left leg is like really tight, and it was giving me some issues. So thank God for this product here. Bam! Ooh, look at that. So I'm not a walking advertisement, but these things are amazing. It took 2 days to get rid of the tightness. I took 1 day off, and I had an interview. So that's the thing I wanted to tell you guys about, that big secret that I have for you. So I had 2 days off. One of the days I had an interview, and my leg was like dying. First of all, I didn't sleep the whole night. Not, you know how sometimes you like doze off for like half an hour, and you go, oh my God, I can't sleep. I was literally awake like this all night long. The hours were passing. I kept looking at the clock and looking at the clock and watching YouTube. I know I was awake because I was watching YouTube. And anyway, by the morning I was dead, and I was like, I can't skip this interview. But so my leg was killing me all night. So I used this Theragun, which I get a discount for because I'm a Zumba instructor. I used it, and it helped a little bit to, get walking in the morning and take a shower and everything. I went to the interview, and I was okay. It was not a problem with my leg, and the interview went. I could have been better. I have to say, I had all of these things planned in my mind, how I was going to go, what I was going to say, and I did a little bit of a practice interview with my mother, who likes to drill me. And she was like, oh, no, keep it short and sweet, short and sweet, short and sweet. Just get in there and get out of there. And I was like, that's how you shop. That's not how you interview. I mean, I don't want to waste their time, but I really wanted them to know what I come and what I offer. So I had that in my head during the interview, and I was dead tired. I couldn't believe that I was awake. It was an hour away, so we had an hour drive, and almost dozed off in the car. But I was awake in the car, and I decided, because my voice You know how you're tired and your voice just you start mumbling. So I was doing like vocal warm ups in the car. Ah, and my mom was like, "Yeah, do more of that, more of that, more of that. Keep doing it, keep doing it." And I get there and I can speak, but I feel like I'm really like high pitched. I don't know. So that's my voice, anyways. I just think that when I'm really tired, it's more. So I don't know. It's kind of a funny day because where I applied in Stockton is the same place um, where Wesley's ex dance partner, um, works. And so I had to get the nerve to tell Wesley, hey, I'm applying with your rival, now they're rivals in some way. I don't really think that they hate each other, but I don't really know the depth of their relationship or anything. I just know there's some like drama. So I go to apply, I go to the interview, and I told Wesley, I'm gonna go to this thing. I hope you're okay. I'm not backstabbing you. We're still gonna do the show. It's just that the difference will be that I'll be in training to be pro. And and so Wesley has other stuff going on in his life. I didn't think that he would have an issue. And he didn't. He was totally happy for me and supportive and whatever. And Emmanuel, his dance partner, didn't even recognize me. So I was like, oh, thank God. I'm not religious, but that's what you do, right? But it was a good interview, and the owner of that store, of that franchise, is really nice. She's totally cool lady. And there's a couple of different reasons why I wanted to work in that particular studio. One, the studio where I want to work, my first choice is where I train, but they already hired somebody who is at a higher level. So they were looking for higher level dancers. They already have all the people down here. They want somebody up here. So they went for somebody else. And now they're looking for a male dancer because they have a lot of female students. Well, okay. So they don't need me. They're probably not going to need me for a long, long time if they ever want me. So let's just apply somewhere else. So I went over there because when I first started, this is my whole story. When I first started looking up ballroom dancing, it was a long time ago before I even started it. And I saw an interview on the internet in a place where I was staying very often. My mom traveled all across California, and very regularly she would go to Stockton in California, which is a small sort of city, and it's a prison town. She works in prisons. So I would stay in the hotel with her for like a week or 2 weeks, however long she needed to be there. And while I was there, she's like, why don't you go do something, get a hobby, go walk outside, find something to do. So when I was looking for stuff to do, I came across the ballroom studio, and it was brand new. But I watched that interview. I was like, oh, that's interesting, because they were talking to somebody who is hearing impaired and spoke sign language. And so it was really cool, that the idea that I could do anything I wanted, even though I was dealing with this other stuff in my life, my personal issues, and it would be acceptable. I wouldn't be like shunned or turned away or discriminated. So that was a really cool thing. So I remembered them from that. And when I was when I saw that they were hiring, it came to me on the internet, please, you qualified to apply for this job. I was like, oh my God, I would love to work there. So I went to this interview and I kept it short and sweet. I don't think I gave her, you know how you answer a question with full sentences, you tell them everything in like 2 or 3 sentences, but there's not really a beginning, middle, or an end. It's just very sort of vague. Your answer is very vague. That's kind of what I was doing. And I couldn't stop it. It was just like happening. I was like, oh yeah, there was this customer and I saw her bag and we started talking and she's so and so, and it was great. And like, that was the end of my story. But how does that answer the question? I don't know. I just told her that story. So I don't know if I'm going to make it to training. And then the competition, I told her I'm going to be in this competition coming up on Saturday. So I go to this competition. I show up and we find out that my inside competition, the girl from my studio, is entered in like 40 dances, and I'm only doing 3. So here's the problem with this particular entry. How we entered this particular competition was a learning thing, curve process. So we entered, I am intermediate, bronze 3, full bronze, but I am not, I just sort of just started there. And I could dance. I could follow into anything that you give me, but it takes a lot of practice and technique to not mess up and do it over and over and over, So Wesley decided, well, we're going to give you like silver moves. We're going to put you in a higher level, make you do moves so that you can compete, because the competition was all levels. So you could compete with all the higher level people, was his sort of strategy. And the other girl was doing basic movements, working on her technique, making sure that they just get through it and look good doing it. So if I knew that, I would have told Wesley, we need to stick to my level and just do it perfectly. Because otherwise, if I mess up, they're going to look 1,000 times better. And I'm surprised that he didn't know that already, because he was also coaching her some days. And I was really upset that he was coaching her. I was like, how could you do this to me? Coaching the competition, but it's just their job, right? So that's the problem with Pro-Am. Pro-Am means that the professional that you are partnered with can possibly also be training your competitors in big competitions. So you're not the only one getting the benefits from them. And that's why in Arthur Murray, they do team training, team teaching. So you can go, so if she goes to my teacher, I can go to her teacher, and we can, really see who's better, I guess, is the idea. But I think that I just personally didn't know enough about how these bigger competitions worked. And it's brand new. It's the first time they did it virtual. So there was going to be some issues. But now that I do, I kind of understand how to strategize it better. It's just that we were perfect in practice. We practiced the hour before the competition started, and I was already sweaty and gross, and Wesley was sweaty and gross. And our outfits were like trashed. And we go out there to do this thing. My mask. I put on a brand new mask because I didn't want to wear my mask for the outfit until it was time to go. So I hadn't even tried it on yet. It was a triple cloth mask, and it didn't have a filter. So the triple cloth, the part in the middle, was fluttering in my mouth as I breathed. Is that a word? So, and I just was like, I can't breathe, and I can't take this thing off. I didn't know if there was a rule, like if you take your mask off, you get 10 points off or something like that. So without knowing the mask rule, I was like dying. I just tried to get through it. And then I started laughing because it was funny, and the laughing made it worse. Oh my God, for like 5 minutes, I couldn't breathe. And Wesley was like, just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. Sochi, don't break down. Don't break down. And like my posture was like, my posture went bent down. And then Wesley was worried. He was worried about me. So he like flubbed one of the steps in bachata, and that's where we got screwed, the bachata. After that, it was over because he was so worried that he forgot what he was doing, and we screwed up like just in the middle, and we couldn't sort of recover from it. But we tried, and then the merengue came right afterwards, and it didn't occur to me, I should probably just take this mask off. But my merengue just looked retarded. I looked at the video and I was like, that doesn't look like merengue. It looks like somebody who just had like a hip alteration was trying to rock up and down the stairs, but it's totally a straight floor. It was like bizarre to watch. I was like, what is that? What am I doing? How is this happening? And then I realized, oh, the merengue. That's why we lost. That's why we lost. Yes. So we go up to stand and wait for our names to be called, and we're all like, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. So holding hands and ready to go out. And then the other girl, her name gets called, and they go to a different studio. Oh. So it was my stupid mistake not to check the mask, but Wesley was pissed. I was disappointed, and you win some, you lose some, but it's always like when you lose, it's for the dumbest reason. The dumbest reason. So that's what happened. We don't have a lot of it caught on tape. My mom just has performances on tape. So I don't know that it's really going to be part of the show. I just wanted to tell you like how that whole story went. If it's not part of the show, it's just because it was 5 minutes. It wasn't. It's not really worth showing. It's a lot of practice for nothing. It's not really a performance worth watching, but it was a cool event. I would still encourage people to go to the virtual competitions, but to understand that if you are going to do anything beyond your level, you better execute it perfectly, because if you don't, you're going to look stupid. And the people doing their own level or below are going to look better than you. So they didn't win either. I think they got like 8th place out of 38. That's not a big win. But I think that certainly if I didn't have that issue with the mask, that we would have placed a lot higher. It's a personal opinion. We'll never know. But yeah, so that's the end of my story. That's the week in drama. I don't know if I'll get that job now that I didn't win the competition and they've all seen it on videotape. But we will see. I got about 2 weeks. They said if they don't call me back in 2 weeks to call them. So we'll know soon. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Please subscribe to the Ba.Bl Reel. Check us out on the babblereel.com if you want a free. If you want a private session of Zumba with me, Xochitl, Zumba or Strong Nation, I'd be glad to give you a class. They're about half an hour long. It's not a long time. But for $10, you can get 4 recorded sessions, or for $4, you get the 1 live session. There's also pre-recorded sessions on Zumba.com. So go check that out. I will see you guys later. Thank you so much. Bye.